Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to another Lunch and Learn webinar all about mastering communication in Court Reserve. My name is Bethany, and before we get started, I just wanted to highlight a few housekeeping items. As we're going through the session today, if you have questions along the way, please just make sure to input those questions into the Q&A box below. I have a member of my team, Michelle, who is going to be monitoring the Q&A box. So again, Q&A box is for questions. Try to avoid the chat for this session, okay? And also a reminder that within 24 to 48 hours, we will post this webinar on our YouTube channel. So that way you can review at any time or you can send it to anyone on your team. So let's go ahead and get started. Just a few events coming up we wanted to make you guys aware of. The first one is our Club Pickleball Mastermind event coming up in March. The dates are March 18th through March 20th with Club Pickleball USA out in Utah. Devin is the mastermind genius, all about pickleball. So if you are wanting to know how to successfully run a pickleball business, he is your guy. He is going to give you the entire formula. So we highly recommend this event. He's also using CourtReserve at all of his locations. And you can actually go to the Club Pickleball Mastermind website and book a call directly with Devin if you do have any questions or you're interested in learning more about Club Pickleball Mastermind. The next thing is our Catalyst Tour. 2026 Catalyst Tour is back. This is our CourtReserve user conference for our customers. It's actually happening right now as we speak here in St. Augustine, Florida. We had a great turnout so far, very impactful event, very valuable event with over 40 plus attendees. Yesterday, we actually had a 4-hour networking session. So our customers were involved in round tables. So they were able to communicate back and forth on best practices and how they're handling their day-to-day operations at their facility with using CourtReserve. So we have a few more coming up this year out in Ohio, Michigan, and Colorado. So we would love to see you and your team there. So just be sure to check out the registration on our website. And of course, you can reach out to our support team if you're interested so you can get those tickets purchased. Another few of exciting events that are coming up. We would love to see you if you're in the area. We're actually headed to the USTA Eastern Tennis Conference and the IHSTCA workshop this weekend. So if you are in the area, I think they're still actually allowing signups for those. So definitely feel free to attend again if you're in the area. Next month, we're headed to Texas, the RSPA Texas Division Conference and the PTR Conference in Florida. All of these events and trade shows are listed on our website with the ones that we are planning on attending. So just make sure to check that out. And then the last thing before we dive into the product is just a quick overview on our agenda for today with mastering member communication in CourtReserve. So we'll talk about automated versus manual communication within CourtReserve, the different types of communication channels and how to communicate directly to your players as well as your staff, and then how to send facility-wide messages for different announcements and alerts. And then we'll dive into our Q&A. So at this time, I'm going to stop the share and bring you guys over to CourtReserve so we can jump right in. All right. So before we get started, I want to talk about really the different types. And Michelle, if you could just confirm when you can see my screen.
You're good to go.
Perfect. Awesome. So the first thing I want to talk about is just an overview of the types of communication in CourtReserve. So the first type is going to be our automated system-generated notifications. What does that mean? That is the system is sending a notification via email, text, or push, which we're going to talk about. And the system is sending that, right? Whenever an action is completed by a player or staff member. Okay. The second type of communication in CourtReserve is going to be our manual or marketing notifications. So this is going to be where someone from your staff team is actually sending something manually to your players from CourtReserve, whether that's a manual email, a text, or a push notification. Okay, and we're going to dive into that as well. Before we dive in more, I do want to give a shout out to our amazing integration partner, Patch. This is a customer retention platform. And again, they are a third party. So if you are interested in Patch, definitely let us know in the chat. We can send you some information, or you can just reach out to our support team and they can connect you with the Patch team. But what it does is they actually take the data from CourtReserve and pull it into Patch, and they can help you build out workflows to send out to your players. So for example, let's say you created an email workflow, and let's say I'm a player at your organization and I haven't visited your club in the last 30 days. Well, you can actually send me an email because Patch is going to be able to identify that I haven't checked in the last 30 days, and Patch can automatically send me an email, disguised as your organization saying, "Hey, Bethany, we miss you. Come back to the club. Come play with us," right? It's an incentive to get your players back in the door, right? That's just one example. Another quick example of Patch is if you wanted to send a birthday text to all of your players, right? Patch can help you with that. Or if you want reviews on your club, right? They can help you with that as well. So a lot of great things with Patch. Again, we have a full webinar, and just let us know if you're interested through our support and we'll get that information sent over to you. Now, let's talk about automated notifications. So where does that live in CourtReserve? That's going to live under your settings all the way down at the bottom. You're going to see the notifications section, okay? You're going to see a player button and then a system user button. What does that mean? Well, player means these are all of the player automated notifications that you can enable to send out to your players. System users, what is that? That is going to be your staff, your front desk admins, your sub admins, your instructors, right? They can also get automated notifications, okay? And then I do want to highlight on push notifications and what they are. That way everyone is aware. Everyone knows what email and text are, but push notifications, we do get questions sometimes. So what is a push notification? It's just a pop-up notification sent from the mobile app to the player's device. So if they have the CourtReserve app on their phone, or if they have your branded app on their phone, then it will actually just send to their phone, right? And it will show up on their home screen. So you probably actually have push notifications on your phone right now if you go look from social media. So it's the same concept. So just wanted to give an overlay on that. Now, before I dive more into this as well, I did want to mention just some settings here with text country code. You are able to add that, as well as an organization short name. And we do have a way for you to send text through a local number rather than it just being a random number. So again, if you have questions on that, let us know, as well as you can let our support team know. Now, you can see there is a lot of notifications here, right? We want to make sure that you have everything that you need to alert your players on what you need them to know, okay? Some examples of these automated notifications would be when someone goes to reserve a court or sign up for an event, right? That is an automated notification. If someone signs up for a class and they get a reminder notification, right? That's automated. If they have a membership fee that they need to pay in the next 5 days, that's an automated notification, right? Or maybe they pay for something and they get a receipt, right? There's a ton of these. So we do recommend just going through all of these one by one and seeing what makes sense to send to your players or not. Now, with that, you're going to see 3 columns here. Automated emails are included in all of our plans, unlimited. You'll never have to, pay for those. There's no usage fees for automated notifications via email. Just check out our website for pricing, and you can reach out to our team with regards to the pricing for texts and push notifications. I'm not going to go too in the weeds on that in this call, but just know that there are some different levels of pricing with that. Now, with that said, the one thing I wanted to mention here is what is active and subscribed? What does that mean? Well, if we just look at this example of reservation confirmation, let's just uncheck this. What does this mean? Well, if it's not active or subscribed, that means that this notification is not going to be sent and cannot be sent at all through CourtReserve, okay? If I have it activated but not subscribed, that means that this specific notification, players do have the ability to opt in to this specific notification, but if you want them to be automatically opted in, you will click subscribed. So that's what we're normally seeing for clubs is they'll have active and subscribe turned on. That way, if a player is like, I don't want this specific notification coming through every time, they do have the ability to opt out, which I'm going to show you how they can do that from the player side. And it's the same for your text alerts as well as your push notifications. So that is just a quick overview on automated notification setup. I did want to show you under the audits tab under notifications here on the left-hand side. This is where you can actually go to see all the different types of automated notifications that you send out through the system. So if we look at this example right here from Brian, event registration confirmation, the recipient was Brian. It's sent to brian@courtreserve.com. The email was processed at this date and time. It was sent and it was sent to the player. If we click the details tab, we're actually going to get like a preview of what exactly was sent to Brian, right? And again, Brian is the player. So this is just a quick overview of, hey, your registration is confirmed, and you can add some messaging to these as well. So that, again, is kind of full encompassing all of your automated notifications within CourtReserve. Now I want to go through the other piece to the puzzle, which is our manual marketing notifications. Okay, that's going to live under the members tab, and you have the ability to send bulk emails, bulk texts, and bulk push notifications to your players. Okay. We're going to start with bulk email. I would say this is the biggest piece to the puzzle for sure. There is going to be some things in here that you may not all have access to right now, and it's related to our new email campaigns module that is currently in beta. If any of you are interested in having the draft emails, templates, and scheduling of emails, if you're interested in any of that, please reach out to our support team. Just let them know that you are interested in the email campaigns beta, and we will turn this on for you. Okay, so I just wanted to preface that. Now, with that said, let's dive in. So you're going to see here all of your drafts. So in CourtReserve now, when you're creating an email, if you get distracted and you need to leave your computer, you can save it as a draft and come back to it, which is very important, right? We're very busy people. So there's that. You also are able to see all of your sent emails within certain date ranges, as well as all of your scheduled emails that you have scheduled to send out. Okay. Now we'll just take a look at the templates tab. This is just going to show you all the templates that you have within CourtReserve in this builder. You can create new templates directly from this page as well, and you can edit your templates too. Also did want to mention that there is a full in-depth webinar on everything to do with the email campaign and the email builder. This is a very high level overview, so just be sure to check that out on our YouTube channel or let us know and we can send you the link for that specific in-depth webinar on our email campaigns. Okay, so just wanted to say that as well. Now going back to actually creating our email. So when we click create email, you'll see this is where you're going to add your email name. Now, this is just going to be the internal name. It's not going to be shown to your recipients. This is just the email that your staff is going to see this email labeled as. So we could just say lunch and learn. That's what we're going to call this email. Okay, we'll save it. Once we save it, then you are going to be brought to this page where you can select all your recipients. So what you can do here is you can toggle this to send to every single player within your organization, or we have this amazing filter option. So if you want to send, let's say you're having a 4-0 ladies night, right? We can actually go in here and we can filter and say we want to filter in all of our ladies, 4-0 to 4-5, right? Because we're having an event that's higher level that we want to market to, right? There's a lot of different filtering options that you can select here, but I'm just going to save it with those filters. Once we apply those filters, of course, I don't have anyone in that range, but if I did, then it would actually just filter in those people. And then once I've done that, then I can move to the next option, which is going to be who am I sending this email from? It's going to default to your organization name and your address or your login email, right? You can change that to another admin if you prefer. Once you do that, we'll click next. You can also toggle up here back and forth between all these four options. So just wanted to show that. Subject line, right? Pretty self-explanatory, lunch and learn. And then content. This is where we're going to actually input the content of our email. So we'll click design email. You can design your email from scratch, or you can select a template. So it's saving you time, which is what we want to do because we know you guys are busy. So we're going to select template and we are going to choose our lunch and learn template and we're going to continue. Now within the email builder, I can add to this template if I want to, but for time purposes, I'm just going to save it as is. And then from here, I can actually send a test email to myself if I want to see what this email is going to look like before I send it out to all my players. So I just wanted to show you that that is an option within this bulk email functionality. And then you can also, of course, select a file attachment to add onto your email. Now, let's send the email. We can send it now, or we have that amazing schedule email, right? So if we schedule this email, we can say, hey, it's midnight right now, so I don't want to send this email at midnight. I want to wait until tomorrow at a normal business hour to send this email, right? So that is how you schedule the email, and that's it on bulk email. It's pretty self-explanatory there, but if you guys do have any questions, please let us know in the chat, or from our live chat support. You can reach out to them at any time. They're here to help. Now let's move on to our bulk texting. So bulk text is really good if you want to alert your players on something that's really urgent, right? Maybe you are closing your courts, right? And you want to say, hey, everything's closed today. The club's closed, the facility's closed. You need to send out a notice to everyone, right? A bulk text would be great for that. But as you see here, the filtering options you have, just like the filtering options that we went through on the email, it's the same sort of concept. So if you want to filter by specific people to capture those specific types of people, you can do so. We're just going to click filter without actually filtering anything. From here, this is where we can select who we're going to send the text to. We can check all, or we can select specific recipients, right? And then from here, we'll add our message, right? So we'll say, come join us at the lunch and learn today. Boom. Okay. It's going to tell you, the segment count, the number of characters, and then the non-GSM characters, which is another thing. You can also add emojis to your text messages. So then you'll click send bulk text. Once you do so, it's going to give you a pop-up where you will just confirm the following before sending the text message. Last thing here, bulk push. Let's move on to that. So again, this is just a pop-up notification sent from the app to the device of the player. So first, you'll need to input a title of your push. So we'll say, come join us, and then we'll give it a short notification description, lunch and learn. And then this is going to be the text to show when the player clicks on the push notification. Okay. So this could be like more detailed. We are having a lunch and learn today at 1 o'clock. Be there. We want you to be there. Okay. So now we'll click next. Now it's actually going to give you a really nice preview, right? Based on the CourtReserve logo, and then it'll have your personal logo as well, which I showed you in the very beginning of this, if you remember. And then, of course, you can filter, right? If you want to filter by certain players, so we'll just go ahead and filter as is. Then we'll check off the players that we want to send this to. Once we click next, then we're able to send that push. So really, really easy and straightforward there. Now I actually want to show you guys the other places in CourtReserve that you can actually notify your players. So let's start under the scheduler. This one I feel like is probably the most common because I know your staff and your admins, you're on this schedule a lot. From the expanded scheduler, you're going to see I actually have two events. Well, I have an event and a league happening this afternoon. And you can see I have a pickleball round robin with 5 people signed up. Then I have a ladies league with 7 people opted in. So if we look at the registrant count here, if I click on that, it's actually going to pull up this screen where I can see the registrants as well as anyone who's waitlisted. And then you'll see this notify button. It's beautiful, right? And then from here, you can email, text, or send a push notification. And then it's the same way for your internal leagues. If you're using that feature, you're able to click on those opt-ins and see those players for that game day. And then you can quickly notify from here. So if I click notify and then I click email, it's actually going to pull in just those players with that email. And so once I do that, all right, so once we do that, we are good to go. That is really the first way of other places and notifying your players in the system. The other way is going to be if you're running any events within your facility, if you're looking at a specific date. So if we look at our pickleball open play that's happening, I think today, we can see all the players who are signed up. Looks like Mr. Brian is the only one signed up for this open play. So I'm not sure who he's going to play with, but we'll see that notify button here as well. So again, if you are running events and clinics and classes and you want to notify someone specifically from this screen, you are able to do that. Another place is going to be directly from your reports. So if let's say we run a members report and we want to filter in all of our tennis junior members because we're having a junior class next week, and we run this report, it's actually going to filter in all of those junior tennis players. And you'll see right here at the top, the email players button, the text players button, and the push notifications button. So just a really, really great way to quickly capture those people that you want to notify. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention here is our closures feature and how that works with notifications. So you guys, all of you guys on the call are probably familiar with what closures are in CourtReserve, but if not, it's a way to close off all of your courts. Maybe if you are, if you have outdoor courts and there's weather, right? Weather delays, if it's raining and you need to close your courts, closure would be a great way to do that. As well as if you have like maintenance for cleaning of your courts, whatever that looks like for you, closures are, it's just a really great feature in CourtReserve. When you create a closure, you're actually able to set what it's for, right? So we'll just say this one is for maintenance and we're going to say it's today, all day, and then we'll check all the courts. And you'll see the reason why I'm showing you this is because of what the system can do. So if we click cancel all reservations and events on our calendar, it's going to actually automatically send those notifications, alerting those players, hey, it's canceled due to, whatever you would put in the messaging here. Your reservation is canceled. That way it saves your staff time from having to constantly answer the phone, pick up the phone and call all these people on your calendar. You can just create your quick closure and then cancel, and then those automated notifications will be sent out. Moving on to another piece of communication in CourtReserve, and that's going to be via the global announcement feature that we offer. So that's located under settings, organization settings, global announcements. So this is great for if you just have any alerts that you want to send to your players. It's not physically sending them something, right? Like an email, a text, or a push would, because they actually have to go within the app or the member portal to see these global announcements. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Junior camp signups. This is an example of one of my existing global announcements. So let's just edit that. And you'll see here, you'll put a title for your global announcement and then when you want it to be activated. So when does it start? And then you can actually say, I want this global announcement to show up on the member portal on the app until X date, right? And then you can even display it to certain membership types. So if you have a certain membership type that you want to send an announcement to, you can do that through this feature, as well as if you have specific groups of members too. And then you'll just save that and you'll be good to go. On the member portal, what that's going to look like is you'll actually see in the member side an announcements tab. And if they have a unread announcement, it'll actually show a little red dot here that they need to review the announcement. On the mobile app, it says alerts. It's in the bottom dashboard of the app. It doesn't say announcements, obviously, because announcements is much longer than saying alerts. So there is a little bit of a verbiage change there, but same functionality. And you can see as a player, if I click on the announcement, this is what it looks like, right? I'm able to see, when the announcement is and what it's for. And then the last thing before we dive into any questions is how the players have control over their notifications. Okay, because this will happen where maybe you have a player that opted out of something, right? Or they unsubscribe from your marketing emails that you're sending through CourtReserve, right? They are able to do that because they do get the ability to control that, and you get visibility on the admin side too of when people do this at your organization. But what you would need to do is just hover over the player's name, and then under personal information, they'll actually see the notifications tab. Well, here we go. All right, notifications. And then you'll see there where they can unsubscribe from the marketing text alerts, as well as where they can unsubscribe from the organization's text alerts. So those automated alerts that are sending out, right? So confirmations, cancellations, things like that. You can see here where players can also opt in and out of specific emails or push notifications that are automatically being sent to them. So that is it on the player portal. On the admin panel, I'll show you one more thing and then we will dive into questions. The first thing I wanted to show you and last thing is under your profile as a staff member. So if I just go into my account, you should see this in the top right-hand corner, your name, which is your profile, and you're actually able to go to the notifications tab. And if you have certain notifications that you as a staff member do not want, but you don't want to turn this off at the system level, you're actually able to come in here and disable those different notifications that you want. So maybe you don't want, a new notice every single time a reservation is created, but maybe other admins do want that, right? So this is where you get to control you as an admin, your specific notifications. So that is it for Mastering Communication in CourtReserve. Michelle, do we have any outstanding questions?
We already asked about do push notifications cost to send? So thought that'd be a great one for you to share with everyone.
Yeah. Um, it is included in our grow, scale, and enterprise pricing plans. Push notifications, unlimited are included for automated and for manual because it's just sending from the app, right? Text is a whole different story, and we can definitely have side conversations with you guys depending on what plans that you're on. But yes, the grow, scale, and enterprise plan does include notifications, push notifications at no cost. With the start plan, that is not available. Push notifications or text alerts is not available. And then if you're still on our legacy pricing, it differentiates based on that too. So hopefully that answers your
Yeah.
question and we can follow up with you on the more specifics too on that.
Perfect. Yeah. And the rest of them we'll follow up on as well.
And I saw one more about modifying system notifications. Were you able to answer that one, Michelle? Might be a good one for me
Um,
to
yeah, go
uh,
ahead and cover that. Yeah.
Yeah, so the automated system notifications that we talked about in the beginning, those you cannot edit right now, but that is on our roadmap. So that is something that we're looking to do in the future. But what you can do and what we see a lot of clubs doing, and I'm so glad this question was asked, so thank you to whoever asked it, is the email messages section under settings, reservation settings, you'll see email messages. You can actually go in here and you can add, let me get into Kramer Mountain because I may have some better examples in there. You can actually add a custom message on the top or the bottom of all of your email messages. Okay, so like here's an example, right? Reservation update. We are excited you will be joining us for play at the club. So anytime someone updates their reservation and they get a comp or they get this specific email, this is going to this right here, this content is going to show at the top of that automated email. So you're able to decide on where you want that to be positioned within the email, whether that's at the top of the email or the bottom of the email.
Yeah, that was a great question.
Really good question. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining today. So sorry about the mouse issue. Again, this just a reminder that this recording will be on our YouTube channel, so just make sure to check it out. And if you have any other questions, just reach out to our support team. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye, guys.